So this is what you need to make a pavlova. You've got your 18 centimetre baking parchment on a baking tray. I've used golden caster sugar, but you need 170 grams of caster sugar. The golden caster sugar I think makes it a little bit more brown, which makes it a bit more interesting. 1 level teaspoonful of corn flour, half a teaspoonful of the vanilla extract, half a teaspoonful of the vinegar, and 3 eggs. We're only going to use the egg whites, and we've got some sheep's, no goats actually, natural goat's yoghurt there. Sometimes we use Greek yoghurt or double cream, depends on what your preference is and what works with your dietary requirements. Got the nice clear bowl so we can see it all happening there, and the fresh fruit of the season. So we've got strawberries, but it might be strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, whatever you have available, and then the whizzy machine, because there's a lot of whizziness needed in this recipe, and the oven we have preheated to 150 degrees. I'm now going to separate 3 egg whites. What I tend to do is to separate them individually into the smaller bowl, and then when I'm sure that they haven't got any yellow yolk in them, I then transfer them to the bigger bowl, because otherwise if you get a little bit of yolk in one of the it contaminates the whole of the bowl and it won't work. It won't come up to a nice fluffy meringue mix. So I've now separated 1 egg white, which has got no yellow yolk in it, so I'm going to put that into that bowl, and then we'll do the next one. Some people, some of the top chefs, break the egg and then separate the white from the egg by keeping the yolk on the hands and letting the white go through. I'm not as confident as that, so I'm going to break the egg on the side of the dish, and then I was always taught to do it this way, but it is a bit of a disaster, because as you can see I've got a bit of egg yolk in there, and so that now won't work. I'll take the egg yolk out, but I think that now will have messed up the whole process, unfortunately. Oops. I'm now going to try and demonstrate how to separate the whites from the egg. So this is the first method, is the one that I was brought up with, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the egg whites into the bowl, into the small bowl rather than the big bowl. So if we do get any egg yolk mixed in, we can get rid of that little lot rather than contaminating the whole big bowl and potentially ruining our pavlova. So here we go. We'll crack it on the side of the mug. Then basically this is what I was taught, just to swap the egg yolk from one half of the egg to the other. That's all the egg white come out of that. I don't know whether you can see that just about, but that is all nice and egg whitey and no yolk in it, so we'll put that one in. And then we'll try the next method, which is the ones that's popular with certain very well known TV Saturday chefs, where they crack the egg, they crack the egg open, they make it look a lot more cleverer than I do, and then they put the egg, can't see that very well, put the egg yolk into the hand. That's breaking up, so I'll be a bit careful now. Get rid of that now, but luckily none of the egg. I'm now going to try and demonstrate how to separate the whites from the egg. So this is the first method, is the one that I was brought up with, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the egg whites into the bowl, into the small bowl rather than the big bowl. So if we do get any egg yolk mixed in, we can get rid of that little lot rather than contaminating the whole big bowl and potentially ruining our pavlova. So here we go. We'll crack it on the side of the mug. Then basically, this is what I was taught, just to swap the egg yolk from one half of the egg to the other. That's all the egg white come out of that. I don't know whether you can see that just about, but that is all nice and egg whitey and no yolk in it. So we'll put that one in. And then we'll try the next method, which is the ones that's popular with certain very well-known TV Saturday chefs, where they crack the egg. Whoops. They crack the egg open, they make it look a lot more cleverer than I do, and then they put the egg, can't see that very well, put the egg yolk into the hand. That's breaking up, so I'll be a bit careful now. Get rid of that now, but luckily none of the egg. We'll now try and do the one favourite with the top chefs, but I'm not as dexterous as them, unfortunately. Anyway, we're going to crack it on the edge of the mug with our yolks in, and then I'm going to put the yolk into my hand and let the white go through my fingers. I'm going to separate it out. And then just pour the yolk into your hand, making sure you don't break the yolk up, and just let the, you can see it's drained, the white is now drained into the bowl, and then we put the yolk whole into the other yolks, and that'll make some nice scrambled egg. There we are, that's our third egg into our mixture. These proper TV chefs make it look easy. Crack the egg, break it in one hand, and then put it into the hand. Let the yolk sit in your slightly open fingers, and let the white of the egg go through. It doesn't work quite so well for me, but I guess confidence and practice make perfect. The third method for separating the egg white from the yolk is, if you're reasonably competent with a knife, and just keep your fingers out of the way and just make sure you don't cut anything important off, is just to sort of knock off the end about sort of best you can, like sort of half a centimetre or so off the end there, and just tap it with your knife. That's it. Take that end off like that, and just get it down towards the bottom, and break off that egg shell there, so you just end up with a little bit of a, you can just see the egg yolk exposed, but it can't hopefully escape. And then we're just going to pour the egg white carefully out of there, and the egg yolk stays put, hopefully. Just go backwards and forwards slightly, just being ever so careful not to lose the egg yolk. And then if you want to be a bit more careful about the egg yolk, you can always put your fingers across the end there like that and just pour the last little bit out. And then that's a nice clean egg white for our pavlova, and then the egg yolk can then just be popped. There's a little bit of egg white there still, all gone now, into our egg yolk mug for our scrambled egg. Yummy, 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 whoopee, whoopee. And hopefully you can see that that egg white is perfectly clear, there's no egg yolk in it, and that'll be great for pavlova. or meringue making. We just keep going like that and going until the egg white goes stiff and we can see little peaks coming. It's not quite enough yet. You can see there that it's quite nice and solid now. Little peaky things. There we go. Hopefully you can see the little peaky bits in the bowl. You can see the egg whites have now been all whisked up for probably a couple of minutes or so, and you've got those. You can see those little peaks in the camera there, but that's how it should look. So it should be quite solid, relatively solid. So we've just gently on a really low setting on the mixer, gradually mixed in all that golden sugar. It's all in there. I'm going to fold in the golden caster sugar, which is unrefined, but it'll make it a little bit of a nicer, slightly brown colour. And so just going to mix that in bit by bit. So we're now going to beat in a level teaspoonful of corn flour, half a teaspoon of vanilla essence, and half a teaspoon of vinegar. The vanilla essence will give it its colour, and vinegar, and it'll help it to create a sort of toffee feel, hopefully, if we've cooked it properly. I'm just going to mix all that in with a silver spoon. So that's level teaspoon of corn flour, half a teaspoon of vinegar, and half a teaspoon of the vanilla essence. So that's now ready to put onto our baking parchment on our baking tray. Right, I'm now going to dollop. It's a famous Herefordshire saying. Without nobody will see this without me getting in the way too much. So we're just going to dollop that on into the centre of the baking parchment. What we're going to try and do is to keep the mixture about 5 or 10 centimetres. Sorry, 5 or 10 millimetres in from the edge of the circular parchment, because I'm actually using a piece of baking parchment which is 20 centimetres in diameter, so slightly bigger than what might be recommended for this amount of goodie. Look at that. See the fun bit? That's the chef's perks. So we're now just going to spread that around fairly evenly, as I say, coming about 5 or 10 mil from the edge of the baking sheet, and that won't then stick to the baking tray. There we are. And that all looks, so it should look all nice and glossy. I don't know whether you can see that, it's difficult to get the light on it, but it should come out, should look quite glossy and slightly brown because of the vanilla essence and the golden caster sugar. So that now goes into the preheated oven, which is on at 100. The meringue has now just come out of the oven. It's been in a 150 degrees C oven for about an hour, which has now made it nice and firm and golden. We'll let that cool off, take off the backing paper, and turn it upside down, fill it with yoghurt and fruit. Yummy, 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 yummy. I've got Pavlova in my tummy. Not the famous ballerina though. We tend to use natural Greek yoghurt, but you might want to use double cream, whatever your particular preference is, whatever suits your dietary requirements. That now goes into the oven for about an hour on 150 in a conventional oven. Now inverted or turned the meringue base upside down. Now we'll fill that with Greek yoghurt and a mixture of fruits, summer fruits. Right here we've got the Greek yoghurt and the strawberries washed and raspberries washed and blueberries washed, and the strawberries, just chop them up a little bit, and we're now going to pop the yoghurt onto the pavlova and then build up the fruit. Don't be too precious with it, just plonk it on however you want to plonk it on, and I'm sure it'll be fantastic. It's now had about 5 tablespoons of Greek yoghurt put on it, and just spread roughly over the top, roughly and evenly-ish over the top. Look a bit like a fruit massacre. Maybe I should put more of the strawberries on top, but that's up to you. You design your pavlova as you want, but all I can say is it will be truly yummy. Enjoy. And please, if you've enjoyed this video, subscribe, and then hopefully we can help the Children of Acorns Children's Hospice in Worcester and Mind. So please do subscribe.